Hey, bit of a bucket truck update. This morning I went and I swapped out, I was sure, the leaking exhaust manifold gasket was the passenger side. It sure is where it sounded like it was coming from. And blessed be, somebody who had been in here previously had slathered each one of the bolts with anti-seize. So they came out easily. In fact, some of them were loose. But I knew I was in trouble when I flipped the gasket over, and I couldn't really see much of a leak. Maybe a little leak there and a little leak there. And anyways, it's all back together, but it only made the tiniest difference. Only made the tiniest difference. Which, of course, it would be that side, because that's where the air compressor is, which is such a big deal to take the air compressor apart. And I know things are going to break and hoses aren't going to go back together properly. And I'm feeling whiny, and there's so many brackets. But yeah, unfortunately, also, it appears the reason that was all slathered with anti-seize is that someone had changed that gasket, and they didn't change this one, probably for the same reasons I'm looking at it, because the handful of bolts I can get to, I can't get them to crack loose. And I'm only on it with a wrench because I don't want to break anything, but I'm pulling on it hard enough to hurt my hand on that wrench, and not even the tiniest hint of movement. So yeah, I believe this is just going to end up staying the way it is. This side's quiet now, though. Dad was here, and is always the case with Dad. He immediately knew what was wrong and how to fix it with the shrieking bucket controls. So, and someone had pointed out that it sounded like I had a valve stuck partway. Their truck, however, must have been fancier than mine, because mine aren't electronic. It was a valve stuck partway. It was that master switch down there. So the way it works is this lowest lever down here turns on the bucket. Okay, then you're supposed to grab this, giving you full power to the bucket controls, which then go and do things. It's run with a galvanized cable through what looks like a motorcycle throttle. Anyways, that cable had rusted solid, and somebody had clearly broken it trying to get it to work. And to replace it, they had bolted it together with a 3/8 bolt down here, which simultaneously got in the way of opening the valve and got in the way of the valve closing. So it was stuck in the middle. At that point, they just ran it. So at the moment, it's simply defeated all the way on. I know for safety we should repair it. It is, however, no different than it was before. It was automatically always on. It just doesn't shriek anymore. And then this is the creep function. When that one's forward, the bucket controls are halved. We were able to figure out that these are, we don't quite know the order yet, but start, stop, ignition on, maybe. We're not sure. They're actually air switches. You pump them up, and they pass through the boom down into here. These 3 air switches right down here, and we were able to figure out that they have power when the ignition is on. So the ignition actually passes through here. There are problems with them. They don't seem to be working. What it seems to be is that those switches are essentially jammed on, whether by design or by fault, not sure yet. And they pass into this big box right here, which is full of massive starter relays, and that then drives the actual ignition system and the actual starting system. As far as the truck starting and stopping and dying, it was because this cable here had come slightly loose. So once I wiggled it around, shoved it in, and tightened it down, that random start and stopping where the truck would just up and die and then fire back up again and then die and fire back up, that all went away. I can show you the throttle cable stuff. So this is the cable that kind of went like that. Anyways, it was rusted all solid. I don't know where I'll get new ones. These are all burred up inside. I don't think we could put any cable through them. Like I said, for the moment it's just bypassed, but it was bypassed before, and that is the massive bolt that was getting in the way. You can actually see right there. It's getting in the way. So that's why it did the things it did. Oh, dang it. Well, I'm not going to break off exhaust manifold bolts right now. I'll get underneath and see if maybe it's the manifold collector that's loose and I can get a donut for that. It sure doesn't sound like it. It sounds like an individual piston that's got a blowout at the bottom is what it sounds like. But I'll give that a look. I'm sure that's why these were all anti-seized. Is that someone else was already in here trying to fix the problem, and they did the same thing I did quite a long time ago by the look of the gasket. So there's just so much there. So much there. And if you can take the compressor off, then you probably should fix its leaks. If you fix its leaks, it just went on and on. You know, you got big mounting brackets, you've got the oil return down to the pan that's got to be removed. So, oh, big sigh. She's going to keep ticking for a while.